Hey y'all, so here we are in the beautiful island of Bermuda, and in this installation of our What You Need to Know series, we're going to be talking with you about what you need to know when sailing your own boat into the Bahamas, and share with you what our experience looked like sailing Tela into the Bahamas. Now, we sailed into Spanish Wells, which is one of the out islands, and the process sailing into the out islands may be a little bit more relaxed than sailing into the near islands.
Upon arrival into the Bahamas, you have 24 hours to check in with customs and immigration. Now, the first thing you're going to need is, of course, your passport. For check-in, Bahamas uses the click-to-clear system. That means you can do it all online, which makes things a lot easier. So once you're on the Click to Clear website, you will need to first click on the Pleasure Vessel section, and then you will click on the Cruising Permit section. You will be issued a cruising permit for 90 days, which will allow you to island hop between any of the islands in the Bahamas without having to check in to every one that you enter. What's next, baby?
Next up, vessel documents. Now, you will need your original vessel documentation registration certificate. You're also going to need proof of liability insurance, and you're going to need your departure clearance from your last port of departure. Once all those documents are uploaded and submitted online, then you actually pay your customs fee online through the Click to Clear system. Now, for our 44-foot boat, it was $300, and you pay that online through the Click to Clear system. Once you do all of that, you will be issued your entry clearance. Next up, we'll talk about the customs inspections.
As far as actual vessel inspections or searches go, especially in the out islands, these physical inspections are totally up to the discretion of the customs officer on duty. Now again, we were in the out islands, so our boat did not get searched, but your boat may get searched, especially on the inner islands in the Bahamas.
After all the customs process was completed, next we met with an immigration officer. The immigration officer examined our passports, asked how long we intended to stay, because in the Bahamas, you're automatically given 3 months on your visa to stay in the Bahamas. Now, you can get up to 8 months on your visa to stay in the Bahamas, but that is totally discretionary with the particular immigration officer that you're dealing with. After that, the immigration officer stamped our passports, issued us our visas that were valid for 90 days.
Yeah, Bahama time, baby. Now, if you are planning on bringing your pet into the Bahamas like we bring our Delilah girl, she's a 5-year-old little collie mix, and she is just the best thing ever. So, you're going to need to do a few things first. First and foremost, you're going to need to submit an application to the Bahamas at least 14 days prior to arrival. However, from our personal experience with this, they don't get in any type of hurry. So we suggest to go ahead and submit your application even more in advance than the 14 days prior to arriving. You're also going to need to submit a health certificate from the last port of departure and the rabies certificate for your dog or your pet. And then lastly, you're just going to need to submit 3 to 5 photos of your pet.
That's right. Now let's talk about anchoring. And speaking of anchoring, we're on the anchor here in the beautiful island of Bermuda, and you may hear it out there, but it's coming up a little rainstorm thundershower right now. Back to the Bahamas. Anchoring in the Bahamas, we stayed on the anchor the whole time we were in Spanish Wells. Now, the most popular place to anchor in Spanish Wells is out by Meeks Patch. And people out by Meeks Patch, they like to, depending upon where the wind is, be on the west side, the east side, or the north side. Now, we have a very deep draft on Tela, 7.2 feet to be exact. So we're pretty particular as to where we try to anchor. We found a place that we really loved, had really sandy bottom and super secure holding out on the west side of Comfort Cay, which is just south of Meeks Patch. Great place to anchor. The only downside is that it is a fairly long, almost 2-mile dinghy ride to get into town one way. We love the anchorage out there. Just be sure and have your foul weather gear handy for those long, wet dinghy rides.
That's right, y'all. One thing that we know is super important for all of us sailors is finding provisions pretty quickly as soon as we come into a port. The main grocery store on Spanish Wells is going to be the Spanish Wells Food Fair. It's a pretty large grocery store and they had everything we needed, tons of options actually. The only little thing that I would say is just pay attention to expiration dates, because on several of the dry goods items that we were shopping for, we did notice that they expired within a day or two of the date that we were shopping. There's also one other store, isn't there?
And there is. I call it the Corner Mart, but it's actually called the Island Mart. And it's kind of like a little convenience store. They have a little bit of everything in there. And the best thing is they're open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., y'all.
And speaking of the grocery store that I was talking about, Spanish Wells Food Fair, they close every single day at 5 p.m. and they're closed every Sunday.
Next up, let's talk about laundry. Now, y'all might not believe this, but there is not one single laundromat on the whole island of Spanish Wells. We searched high and low and talked to everybody we could think to ask, and there is not one single place to do your laundry on Spanish Wells.
But a little Spanish Wells secret we're gonna let you in on here. If you need some laundry done in Spanish Wells, just go to any local on the island and ask for Christy. Now, we don't want to put her contact information on blast on social media, but any local will be able to give you her contact information, and she is the gal that you want doing your laundry. She'll meet you at the dock, pick up your laundry, drop it back off to you when she's done. Usually she had ours done same day. It's $25 a load, and let me tell you, she brought that laundry back to us so perfectly folded, smelling so fresh, and we were just so happy that the locals knew her, recommended her to us, and we were able to use her the entire time we were in the Bahamas. Alright y'all, let's talk about food. So one place that we found ourselves going to over and over again while in Spanish Wells was Buddha's. Now, a lot of locals hang out here, so if you want a spot at the bar, get there early. They had some delicious burgers. Sean one time ordered some fried chicken from there. Probably the top 5 fried chicken that I've ever tried before. It was delish, so definitely recommend going to Buddha's, Spanish Wells, get you something good to eat, get some drinks.
Our second favorite spot during our time in Spanish Wells was actually over on Eleuthera Island in Governor's Harbor, a place called Tippy's. And y'all, Tippy's is a must stop if you're on Eleuthera Island.
Oh, yeah.
The food is amazing, the views are outstanding, the drinks, cocktails are spot on. Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera Island, y'all got to try Tippy's.
Oh yeah. And lastly, one of our favorites that we wanted to recommend, if you like to have some delicious coffee, you've got to go to Savvy Styles and Treats. It's a little coffee stand just right off the dock in Spanish Wells. She serves such good coffee. She also has little treats like muffins and things like that. She also makes handmade jewelry. I am wearing a pair of the earrings that I got from there. Definitely highly recommend getting some coffee there. You will not regret it.
Now, y'all, a few more important things that you need to know about Spanish Wells if you decide to sail your boat there. Number 1 is packages. If you're there and you plan on getting any packages delivered, it's not exactly a simple process. First, you have to go through one of 3 local shipping agents to arrange to get your packages shipped there. The packages have to be delivered to a location in Miami in care of the local shipping agent. Then they bring it over on a boat to Spanish Wells once a week. Now the kicker is, in order to get the packages delivered through these local shipping agents, the packages have to be delivered to a location in Miami 1 week prior to when they arrive in Spanish Wells. And the other kicker is, it ain't cheap.
Woo, no it's not.
It's doggone expensive to get packages delivered in Spanish Wells. So we highly recommend, if you're planning on heading there, either take everything you need with you or get it shipped at another destination or another location that you're going to. But if you gotta have stuff shipped in, like we had to get some stuff shipped in, just be aware, doggone expensive to get packages shipped into Spanish Wells, y'all.
Another important thing that you are gonna want to know about Spanish Wells is that all the stores on the island closes at 5 p.m. except for the Island Mart that stays open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and all the businesses close on Sundays. Again, except for the Island Mart that is open every single day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
That's right, y'all. Spanish Wells turns into a ghost town on Sundays. Next up, fuel. Now, y'all can get fuel Monday through Saturday, but only till noon on Saturday. After noon, you're out of luck. Can't get any fuel anywhere on Spanish Wells, and you can't get any fuel on Sundays. So you plan on leaving on a Sunday out of Spanish Wells, you better get your fuel before noon on Saturday or else you're out of luck.
All right, baby. Well, that's going to be a wrap on today's What You Need to Know series. If you missed our last one on what you need to know to sail into Mexico, I will put a link in the description box, so definitely check that one out if you're ever planning on sailing into Mexico. Definitely hit the like button, comment below, and let us know if you're going to be planning to sail into the Bahamas anytime soon. And if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you join our little community here, and we will see y'all next time here on Sailing Tela.
That's right, y'all.
Next time on Sailing Tela, we explore 4 Bermudian restaurants, a coffee shop, and some rum-spritzed ice cream as we learn what a truly amazing vacation destination Bermuda really is. We post brand new videos twice a week, so y'all be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe.